Hello, my name is Jeremy Jackson, and I am from Houston, Texas, my hometown in which I was raised. I enjoy shopping, traveling to different parts of the state, and spending time with family. Vocationally, I am an experienced worship pastor and church musician. I began my ministry journey in music ministry when I was at the age of 12. My parents sensed the deep call to music ministry as a church musician, singer, and worship leader, and placed me in musical training where I studied piano and voice. I directed my first church choir at the age of 14 and have been directing choirs ever since then, of all ages. Later, as I entered adulthood, I decided to pursue a rigorous music education that would prepare me to serve the church and the world. As I sensed a deep call to music ministry as a full-time vocation, I took the steps to pursue a theological education that would equip and prepare me to lead effectively, biblically, and theologically as a ministry practitioner in pastoral leadership and worship studies. The completion of my theological studies led to obtaining a Doctor of Ministry degree. Growing up as a teenager, I've always had a passion for corporate worship. My passion is for God's church and the quality of His worship that seeks to do three things as the church continues to get this concept of worship. GET is an acronym that describes three functions and essentials to the worship of the church. First, worship should seek to glorify God. The Greek word glory is kabod, which means weight or heaviness. The worship of God is a weighty and heavy matter, and the church should seek to magnify God in a way that hones on His divine character and attributes, such as His holiness, His mercy, goodness, and omnipotence. Second, worship should seek to edify the saints in a way that worship transforms their lives and their witness as disciples of Jesus Christ. And third, worship should seek to testify of the God through the content of the gospel message and faith. Worship is a reenactment of the gospel and redemptive of Christ, the redemptive story of Christ. The church should seek to share the gospel story of Christ's redemptive actions for the church and His saving power. As a worship leader, my greatest desire is to see worship transform lives in a way that makes disciples and followers of Jesus Christ who become strong witnesses of the gospel message to the world in their communities. Not only is it the church's duty to passionately sing about their faith and of the Christ who has died for us, but to passionately witness of that Christ. Lastly, as I enter into a new role of worship leader or music director, my goal is to seek to do what I call creating a cultural capital for ministry. And that is to immediately learn of the new ministry context, core values, leadership operations, and to build relationships not only with the ministry staff leaders, but to build relationship with those who I will have privilege to serve, and to connect with families to learn of the church-rich history. I also plan to learn of the church worship styles, liturgy formats, musical styles, and to work in tandem with the pastor and staff to continue to enhance the church worship, music, and liturgy for the furtherance of the kingdom of God that has meaning and relevance to contemporary life. God bless.